to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is the Experience Pros Radio Show. Got an opinion or want to ask us a question? Email radio@experiencepros.com or message us on the Experience Pros Facebook page, and we'll interact with you live on the show.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. We do want to interact with you live on the show. You can do that by reaching out to us on our Facebook Live video, or go ahead and comment or anywhere on our Facebook page, anywhere like that.
Absolutely. Well, you know that your greatest asset is your customer or is your employees, and happy employees make productive employees. But
Absolutely.
Let's imagine this scenario. You've got an employee named John. He doesn't feel the same about work anymore, and something's changed. He used to approach it with commitment and drive, happily doing extra hours because he believed in where you were going and what the organization was doing. But things are different now. A new management structure has made him voiceless and depressed. Decisions he was once part of are now made behind his back. And the result is
he's lost that loving feeling.
He has checked out. He's taking more sick days now. He's not really a team player. And here's the thing. It might be a hypothetical example, but you probably have at least one John, maybe more, in your office space. Our guest is Royston Guest. He's the author of Built to Grow, a blueprint to help entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals understand the guiding principles of accelerated, sustained, and profitable business. He says your greatest assets walk out the door every night. What are you doing to get them to return the next day inspired, motivated, and enthused to be the very best they can be? Royston Guest, welcome to Experience Pros.
It's great to be with you. Really excited to be on the show.
Royston, it is nice to have you. And how is it that we can engage? Is the story of John, is it possible to win him back and to bring him back into the fold, get him back enthusiastic about where we're going and what he's doing?
Absolutely it is. And you quite rightly said that every business has probably got Johns within it. Some businesses might only have one, more businesses might have, 4 or 5 or even more. If you're thinking, does this apply to a small business if they've got 2 or 3 employees? I always think the smaller the business, the more important it is because, you've got less people and therefore you need everybody coming into work every single day, motivated, inspired, showing up in the arena of life, being the best that they can possibly be. So yes, you can win him back, and there are a number of things that you need to do in order to do it.
Well, I'm excited to hear because I think this is pretty common. You get all excited, from the beginning, but that love and feeling, it's gone. You feel less valued. You feel less noticed, less appreciated. And of course, you're going to lose your interest in showing up for work, and you're just barely making it. So what are some things we need to do to bring back and re-engage our Johns?
So the number one is, and this particularly applies when you think about the different generations now and how people are motivated and how they're wired. Particularly when you think about some of the younger generations, the millennials coming through, it's not all about my job role. It's not all about money. They want to feel like they are contributing, that they are adding value, that there is a social benefit to what they're doing, and most importantly, that they are doing purposeful work. So I think the first thing that all businesses, all organizations need to do is make sure that they have a compelling North Star that really creates clear about when you come into work every single day, what part are you playing in helping the business and ultimately customers to achieve their goals of what they want to do. Now, I know it's old and trite and it's used a lot, but you take the example of President Kennedy when he was walked into NASA space station at 6 o'clock in the morning. And he's talking to the janitor who's sweeping the floor, and he asks him what he's doing. He said, I'm putting a man on the moon. Now, it's not for people to have to make that link for the individual. Part of our role as leaders and entrepreneurs is to create that connection for our people. So against a purposeful vision for the organization, that you can connect what people do on a daily basis so they see what part they're playing in really making a difference.
Yeah, boy, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so Royston, then the next step that you talk about is understanding and acknowledging people's emotional well-being as well as how that relates to their physical well-being. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's about genuinely being interested in people's wellness and the lifestyle that goes beyond just the contribution that they make from a professional perspective. Some of that's the real basics in terms of what we do on a daily basis. So, sometimes as entrepreneurs, as business owners and leaders, we don't make time for what I call small talk. And that can be on a Monday morning that you just are walking around the office, that you're asking people, did they have a good weekend, that you remember the small details about partners' names, you remember people's birthdays. And I always remember a good leader that I worked with, and he said to me early in my career, he said, Royston, the one thing is, make sure that for your employees, that when it comes around to Christmas plays, when it is, my daughter started at school today, it was her first day at school, and for me, you never miss those special occasions because you never get those back. So as leaders, it's about how you create the space for your people to do those small things, because that's what people recognize, that's what they value. And if as an organization you create the space to acknowledge those things and give them space to do those things, the loyalty you get back is exponential.
Yeah, that's really interesting to think that just taking a little extra time to make sure that they are going to their children's plays, that their birthdays, you make time for small talk, because I think so often in the workplace, we've got an agenda, we've got things to do, and we're moving along, and that would seem, I don't know, to fall on the wasting time side,
but it's all
actually
about those details.
It's creating relationships, and we're thinking, how do I connect with my team? We want to bring them together. We want to have strategic meetings. It's all, busy, business, but it's really treating people like human beings. Our guest is Royston Guest. He's the author of the book Built to Grow, a blueprint to help entrepreneurs understand the guiding principles of accelerated, sustained, and profitable business. And he says, happy employees are productive employees. Royston, a final tip for our audience today on how they can engage their disengaged employees.
So the final tip, I think, when you think about motivation's a personal choice. It's an inside job. People do things for their own reasons. And I think one of the most important things that we can do for our employees is really set them up for success by them being really clear about what excellence looks like in their role. And that's from both a behavioral and you talk about performance and objectives perspective. Because once you set them up for success and they're very clear about what the expectations are, then you can coach, you can nurture, you can mentor, you can develop them. And then they will come into work every single day being emotionally connected, not just logically connected, and being the best version of themselves that they can be.
Really well said. Royston Guest, the author of Built to Grow, a blueprint to help entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals understanding the guiding principle of accelerated, sustained, and profitable business. Royston, you get the book at Amazon, right?
Absolutely, at Amazon. And if people want to connect with me, I've got a blog that I produce every single week, so they can just connect at roystonguest.com and pick me up on Facebook and LinkedIn as well.
There you go, Royston Guest. Thank you for joining us. Great value today.
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Folks, don't go anywhere. More positive business talk is just ahead at the bottom of the hour news. And we'll be back. You're listening to Experience Pros Radio Show with Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer. For more information about us and how we can help accelerate your business growth, go check out experiencepros.com. That's experiencepros.com. Back after these messages.
America's home for positive business talk. You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show.